background about the various different schools of thought and trying to find an answer and to study and get more knowledge. So the question is a personal. What do you think the mind is?
I think the mind, more or less, the mind itself, it decides for you, your mind, what your reaction to different things would be. Your mind governs your thought, for example.
Do you think it's a separate thing from the body, or it's part of?
A part of the whole, I'd say. Part of the whole, and it's sort of it intertwines. Is that the word? Interacts with the other parts of the body. It's a mixture set up of all the different parts of the body, and I think the body's controlled by the mind, the thinking, as well. So it controls the mind. It controls all your different reactions. What you take and what you think and what you do.
So you don't think that behaviour determines your?
No, I think mind
actions.
itself determines your behaviour, the way you think about things.
And
it works through your behaviour then, your reaction, like to what your mind is thinking. Comes out in your behaviour. Your reactions to different things is the way your mind works.
Do you think that people, individuals, have their own mind, or do you think that there is a collective mind and we're all part of that, or a bit of both, or
No.
How do you think that works?
I think individuals have their own minds. Myself.
Okay.
In a way, their minds, they are a part of a big whole because they belong to everybody, the mind, so it is a whole, isn't it? You call it, because we all have a mind, like, but individually our own mind works separately. It's not the same as other people's, each one.
Okay. So in scientific studies they study behaviour, and they study things like children's learning ability at different ages and things, so that they can see what happens. In terms of the mind, where do you think it's located, for example?
I think it's in the head, the brain.
You think it's in the brain, in the head?
Somewhere in the head.
Why do you think? Any reasons why you think
because I think the brain is responsible for all the different functions in your body. Your nerve centre and all the different things, your thoughts. And your words, everything you think and do. And I think it comes from the brain. Fine. I think.
Have you any? Sure. Have you any sense of how big it is, or what sort of shape or size it is?
Well,
it's like you can measure a kidney.
No, I wouldn't
weight
think
and
it was
size.
big. I'd say it was something like an electric pulse, something like that. It's a part of the whole makeup of the brain, a section.
Great. Okay. Now, what do you think happens?
It's my thoughts.
What do you think happens to the mind when the individual perishes, dies, is no longer? So the physical body.
Oh, that dies as well, because the brain dies anyway, doesn't it? The brain dead.
Okay. Now, just out of interest, do you think the mind and soul is the same thing?
No. Wait a bit. That's a question. Wait a bit. The mind and the soul. Well, I think there's a bit of a link there. I think there is. A bit of a link.
What do you think the soul is then? If what do you?
Well, I think the mind expresses the feelings of the soul.
So
that's the only way you can express the soul anyway, is through the mind, thinking. And that's the only way you can know is your feelings as well. That there is a soul, something separate, because you've got that effect. But you can't describe it, like, you can't really separate it, sort of thing. It's there on its own, and I think what's in the soul, it comes out in your thinking, your mind,
Yeah. Right.
that sort of a way.
So have you any sense of where the soul is located?
In the body, I'd say.
In the body?
Yeah, somehow.
Anywhere
I just
particular?
have a feeling that it's in the body. I'd say, I think it'd be around the heart, because I think from when you're born, when your heart starts functioning, pumping, a baby's heart, it then receives the soul and becomes active.
Right.
Like when it's 4 months, and I think that's when the soul enters the body, when the heart starts to beat.
So the soul enters the body?
Yeah, I think the soul enters the body at that time when the heart starts beating.
Where does it come from?
The soul?
Yeah. If it enters the body, where is it coming from?
Well, I think it's another dimension. It's a spirit outside everything else.
Okay. Yeah.
And it just enters the body somehow.
What determines?
Well, I think God does.
Okay.
That in that sense, that's if I'm supposed to believe in what I know.
Yeah.
And that's why I gather from that. The best way I can describe it, I think, is sort it out.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really thought about it.
That was the next question. Is this something that you've thought about, or that you
No,
think
I've
about?
never thought how it works, but I've thought about the soul being in your body, sort of thing, and your feelings and reactions kind of come from the soul, I think.
Yeah.
For example, like, say now, when you don't like to see anybody treating animals cruelly, because it can't fight back, I think that comes from the soul, the spiritual soul, your feelings towards anything and towards cruelty.
Right. Now, let's say, going back to the mind then, where do you think that comes from?
The mind?
If that question's a...
Well, I think the mind is all connected with the brain, sort of thing.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's governed by the brain, or a part of the brain. But it might be linked to the soul as well. It could possibly be.
Okay.
In a way, because I mean, if you're thinking good. Well, that's come from your soul through to your mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then it comes out from your mind, out.
You express it.
Express it from your mind.
Okay.
That way.
So have you got any? Does this provoke any questions about that question for you? And have you got?
What do you mean?
Does it leave you with any questions about
what?
that question of what is the mind? Do you find yourself with any questions particularly?
No, I don't think so. I think that just for my reasoning, my own personal reasoning, not from what anyone said or watching anyone, or it's just my own reasoning of the thing.
That's it. That's what counts. Okay.
Is that it?
Yes, it
Fine.
is.
But I'll have a look at myself quick.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.